What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri zone. And yeah, welcome back the day after one of the craziest games I've seen. And actually, we saw it against Roma. Remember, 4-3 as well. Last year, 4-4. But this one was different, because of the type of goals and just like everything around it. So we're going to talk about, obviously, the win, the individual performances, some key decisions. Also, like, should we just be happy about the result, but also very realistic about the performance? Attacking wise, defensive wise, and what this could mean for the season, because it was a roller coaster of emotions, obviously, but also like performances. I think from players, etc. But today only Spiros, but that doesn't matter. How are you doing the day after?
Yeah, I'm doing very well. I'm doing extremely well because I actually didn't expect yesterday's result, and yeah, it just feels great, man. The way it happened is just crazy, and yeah, it's just pure joy right now. We're winning it all. You said also.
I've
So
I tried to I tried to tell everyone all week. I did about like how many videos did I do? I also made a video about Yildiz is going to be key. I knew it the entire week, the entire build up. I knew we were gonna win that game. I obviously didn't know the fashion and we're gonna win it, but the entire week I was saying we're gonna win. And I don't even care how we were going to win. I was not expecting a stellar performance, etc. That was never what was on my mind. On my mind was we're winning at home against Inter, because right now is the moment to beat Inter. It is. We're not in our best shape, but nor are Inter. And I was like, you play at home, that should be the advantage to beat them. And we did, because nobody could envision this, because this was wild. Quick stat. I think there were 8 shots on target and 7 goals. I think
yeah,
I think Inter had a GA of just above 1, and we were just below 1-ish, and there were 7 goals. Those
I
games
think
happen.
I think both we had like below one. I
Okay,
think
that
I
could
think
be
Inter had like just closer to one.
that could be
It
the
was
case,
not.
but like
Yeah.
that tells you it's like you watch one of those games, not scoreline, but the finishing, etc. Once every, I don't know, couple of years, and you just needed to watch that game as well, because it was ridiculous. The finishing was
Mm.
from both sides was just clean, even though we can discuss the goalkeepers, and we will do that in a second. But I think at the end it's Inter at home. You win that game. How? Does anyone really care? Remember, for Jordi, that goal got deflected. Nobody really cared about that, right? It went in. Like that's the only thing that matters, and I think that was the most important thing for me. Like 9 out of 9, and to be honest, we haven't played good like in the first. Like, it was not. It's not bad, but it's also like it needs to be better. We know that, right? As a fan base, I think we can all agree it still needs to improve, but somehow we managed to pick up the points.
Yeah, nice, very nice.
Okay, let's get into the game. Let's analyze the game. I don't know where are we going to start. I don't want to start with, is this sustainable, what we saw yesterday, whatever, because it kind of takes away of everything. But it's something we need to talk about. But let's start about the talking about the individuals, maybe, that kind of made the game, because the struggles based on the lineup we knew, and I don't know if, let's say, Zigrov and Conceição are not there yet. Is Tudor going to do the same thing? Because it's kind of obvious that we lack certain elements in that team, and it makes it quite easy, in my opinion, for the opponent to cope with, to deal with. But individually, players stepped up. I want to start with Kelly, because um, I said up to this point, everybody was like, he's been great and whatever in the first 2 games. I was like, I wouldn't use great, because we haven't been tested against Parma and Genoa. So I don't know what the real measuring stick was. I don't want to judge that. However, yesterday he was great. Yes, we conceded 3 goals, but it wasn't his fault that we conceded 3 goals. The
Yeah,
finishing was ridiculous, like
that's
actually
crazy.
insane. That was clean, but also defending, he was just good. So I want to give him his praise because he deserved the praise yesterday. And even though I still do not like him as a footballer I'm convinced about him, that was just a top performance in a top game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think he was very good. And yeah, I think that goal would do him very well because now he will have more confidence, and that is good for us. So maybe he continues performing that way, and maybe he helps us have a good season. So yeah, com- also like okay, I think the back line had a good game in general. Maybe besides Gatti, I thought Gatti was a bit yeah not very good.
Will you, because we're on the subject right now, let's say Cambiaso's back, and let's assume John Mario is gonna start at one point. Like what will Tudor's choice be? Because I don't think like Kalulu, fine, he's doing a job there, but it takes so much way going forward. And I don't blame Kalulu, nor do I blame McKennie yesterday for not really crossing midfield. They're not really built for that. So let's assume in an ideal situation, is Gatti the guy, the player who's gonna probably take the hit?
He should, but I don't think so. I think he will start him again because I think he likes him. I don't know why.
So
Because
Kalulu is
he,
gonna get, or like,
I think Kalulu is like the guy that's gonna play a lot wing back, at least until he feels confident about starting Joao Mario. But yeah, I think it also depends on the game, the kind of game we're going to play, also the team we're going to play. But yeah, I don't see him betting that a lot, to be honest.
I'm looking at it, because we played certain players because while Dumfries was out there, and you're trying to break down their strengths, which I get, but like I prefer we play to our own strengths, if that makes sense. Because
Yeah,
scared of
totally.
Dumfries attacking wise, cool. But what about you know taking advantage of Dumfries defensive wise? Because I don't think he's a good defender, Dumfries. I actually don't rate him one bit as a defensive
Yeah,
player, attacking wise. So when I was looking at him, like, why not try to take advantage of Dumfries's inability really to actually defend good for 90 minutes rather than being scared of him attacking you. Shouldn't we go to that place at one point in the season? That's why I said, Kalulu probably not really going to start there all season, like in those positions. That's what I was trying to say. In an
yeah,
ideal world. So let's say Cambiaso and Joe Mario starts. Is it going to be Kalulu? Like Bremer, I don't think Bremer and Kelly will be touched. I think they like
yeah,
Bremer, obviously, but I also think he actually really likes Kelly. So
yeah,
is it Gatti? Because to be honest, this far, I'm not saying Kalulu played all great, but I think people are a bit clouded by the fact that he plays in that position and he doesn't offer what a player should be offering in that position. And I don't think that's fair. But I think
yeah,
Gatti has been the quote unquote poorest out of them all, in my
yeah, yeah,
opinion.
yeah, for sure. I think he doesn't want to bench anyone, to be honest, because I think Kalulu convinced him when he joined, and he became like the interim coach, whatever it's how it's said. But yeah, for me, for sure, if you have to bench someone, it's Gatti because for me he's not really performing. I don't think he's in great form. I also think every year he's getting worse. In my opinion, I don't see some improvement. So for me, he should not start. But then again, I think he's overthinking the games. I think that's the reason we struggled a bit yesterday because I think he said also like that the thing that he had in mind didn't work out at
Yeah,
all.
he said that.
Yeah.
He-
So yeah, like he played Cup minus there. Like Cup minus, he's not really confident. He didn't play well. He also kind of disappeared, in my opinion, in the game from a minute onwards. So
I don't think
yeah,
Koeman had a disaster game, but he didn't offer anything. That was kind of the
yeah,
issue. I think, like, because you brought it up, and we just go with the flow of the show. We will touch on anything, but on everything. Excuse me. But you said, and that's right. Tudor said what I have in mind didn't really work.
yeah,
The subs shouldn't they have come? I know at the end of the day you won the game and the coach is right, but I think everyone was watching that game and was like, make the subs 2-2. I'm like, it's already too late. From minute 45 to minute 65, we didn't even touch the ball. And it's not that Inter were breaking us down and creating chances, because to be honest, there were no real chances. It was just insane finishing throughout the game. But I think
yeah,
everybody was watching it, and I was like, okay, Goldmine is not offering anything. Yildiz, you're asking an insane workload from Yildiz. Vlahovic is up there on his own, kind of dying a little bit. Shouldn't you try to attack Acerbi or Bastoni, or puts players in who are a bit more mobile and make them doubt? Because on the right hand side there was nothing. It was very easy, in
yeah,
my opinion, for Inter. And the moment you bring in Openda, it's different, because Openda doesn't go like, how do I need to, as Vlahovic likes to kind of box up to a defender, feel a defender, and then Openda, not out of the out of the blue, out of nowhere, he's on the right hand side winning that foul. He's in between the lines and all those things. I mean, looking at that, I think everyone was like, that's what we needed way earlier to kind of break Inter's dominance in those 90 minutes. No,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
isn't that on him that it didn't really work then? That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, for sure. But I think he said it like absolutely, like it didn't work out. I think he overthought the game like too much, in my opinion. The subs were too late. The starting lineup was a bit meh. Like everyone was like, "Is that really the lineup? What are we going to do with this?" I think like having one less attacker didn't help us at all. I think we needed like a winger, or like I think we missed like Conceição or Penda or anyone up front, because with Cook Miners, like it was like we were playing with 10 men at times. I don't know. It felt very, I don't know. Like we struggled to have some sort of control. So yeah, he messed up, but he won the game. He fixed it, I guess. So yeah, credits to him. Also, he played Adzic, so, and he scored some. I was like, because I couldn't believe that sound. I was like, what? I was like,
Do I
he's
need
nuts.
to?
He's crazy.
Do I need? I
So when
told
he did
some
that, I mean, he scored. Yeah,
somebody in the comments before during the week said, "Man, maybe we'll play Adzic." I was like, no chance.
yeah,
Like even Kyle rocked up, and I'm not gonna lie, and that's my fault. I forgot he got called up, and I saw people picking on him. I'm like, that's not fair. He's been out for so many, like he shouldn't be really out there. If I'm being completely honest, I don't think that was fair towards him, and he lost the ball here and there, but he hasn't played. Like I didn't even know he was really fit like that. To be honest, that was kind of crazy because there's no real talk about it. But Adzic got his shot, and I mean, he took it obviously, and we'll talk about that in a sec. But going back to the subs, I mean, he admitted that it didn't work out what he wanted to do, and it wasn't, the
yeah,
way it should be going. And fair that he admitted to that. But I mean, maybe he will learn from that, And at one point, if
yeah,
in Dortmund, it's the same kind of scenario. He makes those subs earlier, because I thought the first two games he was on point with the subs. He made them in the right time when they were needed. Yesterday, I think like everyone, it was not to say, oh, you're negative. I think everybody was like, we need something fresh. We need something to make Inter, you know, to, to take them out of their comfort zone, especially at the back. It was a bit too easy for them, and that's why they were keeping hold of the ball. It's not that they were pressing us that mad. It was just there was there was nothing to play around. Basically, it was Yildiz, and that was kind of it, in my opinion. So
yeah,
uh, that's that. We kind of dwelled off. So we talked about Cali, fantastic. Yildiz right now, because I mean, I remember when he got the number 10 jersey, and people know what I think about the numbers on the jersey. It doesn't matter. Like he can wear the number one of a goalkeeper. Just win me games, like just play well. I'm not one of those people where it's like the number is important whatsoever. But when you got the number 10, people are like, oh, it's way too soon and whatever. I'm like, for me,
No.
if we want to talk about the number 10, it should go to the most talented player who can make things happen out of nowhere. And yes, at the time, it's not that he was making things happen week in, week out, but he just came through. And people are like, oh, the pressure. I'm like, if a player is good, screw the pressure. I think the pressure thing is more of an excuse of, oh man, it's pressure at the club that doesn't work out. It doesn't work out at the club, not because of a number or pressure, because of the situation, the coaching, the team, the position.
Yeah.
Just give him the number 10. I don't think he feels any kind of pressure whatsoever. And obviously, he is like, if you think about a number 10, you think about
He's the
those type
number.
of players. Yeah, like
Yeah.
literally, like even when Pogba got the 10, and yes, we knew what happened, but the talent is the jersey. If it's number 10, I think about extremely talented players, and he is extremely talented. Has he scored a simple goal? Has he scored a goal where I was like, okay, cool?
No.
It's ridiculous. Like it's actually maybe the header against Torino, maybe. Like,
Yeah,
was
yeah,
it
yeah.
against Torino? That was easy,
Yeah,
but
Torino, yes, yes.
his striking ability is ridiculous, and it's in always most of the time in moments of the game where it's like, oh, come on, somebody, and he steps up, and I mean, just ridiculous, like ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah. He gives me like that Dybala vibe when he was like really young in his first seasons. That he was just scoring like with his left, like boom, corner, corner, corner. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, he's crazy talented. He deserves the number 10. Absolutely. He was amazing yesterday. Probably one of the best games he has probably played for the club, in
I
my
agree.
opinion.
Full
Yeah.
90 minutes. I agree. I
Yeah,
agree.
he was unplayable. Like he was the only one. Like Inter like was they were going crazy. Like he had
They
like two
couldn't
three
stop him.
players like on him or something. So yeah, he was still making it happen. So yeah, credits to him, and I think also credits to Tudor because he it made he has found a way to make him work and do well, because last season I was like, no, like something was very off, like he was very like he was on the side all the time. I didn't really like that. And now Tudor is like, okay, I want you like near goal, I want you to score goals, I want you to score goals, and
Yeah.
he's doing that. And yeah, credits to both. And yeah, it's amazing.
I made a prediction he's gonna be the top assister in the league. I'm on track ish. I also said Vlahovic is gonna be the top scorer, but whatever, screw that. That was a joke. No, but on Yildiz, I didn't like because the post game I was watching and people were like talking about somebody should have saved that. I mean, he stretched his entire body somewhere and he reached it, like it was impossible to save.
He's not safe.
Impossible. Like I mean, he stood where he stood.
Nobody's saying that. Nobody.
Because nobody was
Nobody.
really expecting him to take that shot so quickly as well. Like he controlled it, turned it, and he took a shot. It's not that he was looking and the goalkeeper's like, okay, it's coming. It was quick, and it was clean. And we've seen him do that before against Torino as well. Like that ball felt like, remember that goal? It felt like it was hobbling in, but it was just the execution was that quick that it's too late for
Yeah.
the goalkeeper to actually really react. And someone actually reacted pretty well on that one, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
I mean, pre-game, Chiellini said, and he was honest about it. He said, because he was asked that question, what about the replacement for Yildiz? And we talked about it all summer. And he's
Yeah.
like, it's
There is
difficult.
no. Yeah. Yeah.
It's difficult, and I understand that point, but still, you needed something. You need a plan B because you're not going to play him 50 games this season, right?
Yeah.
But if he goes down, I mean, we are in trouble. Like if he quote unquote goes down, and obviously you do not hope, but let's say he needed to miss a couple of games. You need to hope the stretch of games is Pisa and like those type of teams. You need to actually
Yeah.
hope for that, because if you have a stretch of games of Atalanta, Real Madrid, I'm saying Pisa and Napoli, you're in trouble. Like you're
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
in trouble
yeah,
because it takes
yeah.
away like it takes away everything basically from this team right now at
But
this moment in time.
I
Maybe
think
if
this is
everyone
why
comes in,
yeah, sorry. I'm sorry.
no, it's like maybe if Zegrova and Consao gelled in, it's a bit different, you know. But
Yeah,
right now, it's him. Like it's just him.
yeah. But I think this is why the club brought like so many attacking players and wanted to have like a force up front, because they're like, okay, if we miss him, okay, we can do this and we can do that, and we have options, and maybe we find a way to still win games, no? So yeah, I think that was the plan. But yeah, he's needed all the time because he's the best player by far, maybe even the best player in the league. I don't know. So yeah, he's unbelievable. Actually, that goal he scored, like, you reminded me a bit that goal that Dybala scored
Yeah,
against Milan some years ago,
yeah, I remember that one.
2007. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Right hand corner again. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
that was a good goal.
Yeah,
That was
very
also a
good.
good goal. Different position, you know, but still very. I thought it was more difficult for you because it was kind of straight. Like you didn't really had
Yeah,
space to make an angle. You just needed to, you know, give it a
yeah,
like he
yeah,
needed to make the angle on like it's just ridiculous, you know. There's
yeah. He made it happen. Like, it was crazy.
unbelievable. So that was absolutely fantastic. Obviously the Thuram thing. I mean Thuram as well. I'm scared because if he goes down, for example, we like it's McKennie in midfield or Colt Miners in midfield,
So,
and the level the level goes down. Modric scored
yeah,
for Milan. Someone
yeah,
said the level just goes down to an because Thuram is ridiculous. Like he's actually ridiculously good because, like I said, like the engine on him, like he can keep going and going and going. Like it's crazy. He never really gets tired. But also the positive plays he makes. Like it's most of the time it's just positive. Even when he tries to needs to fix something at the back or whatever, he always try to make it turn it into something positive. And obviously the goal
yeah,
was good, but forget about the goal. I thought he was good yesterday again. Like he was everywhere,
yeah,
and it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. I get it because they crowd that midfield well. Even though Barella, I think, had a stinker of a game. He was just unbelievable. Like 22-ish million or whatever plus bonuses. I mean, for all the bad work Giuntoli has done, that was a ridiculous job.
No, it was 20 million, like
20
fixed.
million. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That
Yeah,
was insane.
he's
I
worth
remember
double.
that. Yeah,
Like if a Premier League team comes in, like you ask 50, 60 million easily, without a doubt. Not saying that you need to
yeah.
sell them or whatever,
But
but
you don't sell. Yeah,
no,
you
I'm
just don't. Yeah,
just saying the value, the increase of value is mental. It
yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's
He,
not about
he,
coaching because
he's a
under
leader.
Motta he
Like,
was also good.
yeah, yeah. He's a leader in my opinion. Like, he gives you that vibe, like he's Vieira or something. Like, he's a leader on the pitch. Like, he makes things happen. He does everything. And yeah, he's very good. He's very, very good. And that goal, like, after, like, when his brother scored, I was like, this is the time. Like, that was so predictable, but also so unpredictable at the same time. So yeah, it was
Yeah.
fantastic.
I mean, he deserves that goal. Actually, he himself preseason said I need to score more goals because I know I can do. I don't know, was it when we were on training camp in Germany? That's for sure.
Yeah,
But I remember that he was talking about it. He was like, I know that I have the ability to score more goals, and I need to add more goals to my game. And I mean, it's his first this season, whatever. But still, I mean, I do expect seven, eight goals. I do expect that in all competitions from Thuram, because he should be offering that, and not him, because like goals from midfield has been a struggle for us the last couple of seasons. It really is. Only that Rabiot insane season. Other than that, we really struggle, and you need that, throughout the season, like goals from
Yeah,
midfield. In my opinion, yeah, it's like every team needs that, and it just takes the pressure away. For example, because yesterday, uh, there was no goal, like Yildiz, Adzic, Thuram, and Kelly. There's no goal from a striker, so that's, in my opinion, also a positive. That we all thought, oh, the forwards are gonna spread out the goals, and now the goals are coming a bit from everywhere, like variation in the goals. But I think that is also one of the positives. And then finally,
yeah.
and then we'll talk about the game really. Yeah, Adzic. Do I need to put the group chat in on screen? Because I think everybody was like, "What the hell is Adzic doing?" Remember the meme? What the hell is the polar bear doing in Texas? Like when he was coming on, I had nothing against it. I was like, "Cool, try something else." But I think everybody was like, "Huh, Adzic?"
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he came on and he did well, but I remember he lost the possession once, and then there was like a break for something. Somebody was injured or whatever. And I remember Tudor. They zoomed in on Tudor, and he was losing it. He was screaming to him and saying what he needed to do, etc. And I saw people on social media saying, "Oh, let the kid play." He was just giving him some instructions, and because before the goal, he was playing well. It was positive. It was
yeah, yeah,
I thought it was positive. Like Openda, for example, like we talked about early on, it's positive. It gives like it's different. It's mobile.
yeah.
It's
A different dynamic.
progressive.
Yes.
Yeah, but that goal, man. I mean, should someone have saved that? Probably. Like he should have done better. I will say that. Save, I don't know. He should have done better. But to take that shot just from standstill is insane. Like it's
It was
actually
crazy.
insane. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe first that he did it, and secondly that he actually pulled that off. It's crazy. Like I have no words for it. That's just the moment is like that's a goal you will remember. Even if we end up winning nothing this season, that's a moment and a goal you will remember forever. You will never
Yeah,
forget that. Like the Higuain one, only we won the title. But yeah, talk about it.
yeah. Unbelievable. Like I was one of the guys on the group chat. I was like,
Yeah, man.
come on, like, because I was fuming at that moment. I was like, we were losing, and I saw the subs. I was like, come on now, like I was like he's taking the piss, like he's driving me crazy right now. Because I saw Cabal and Adzic, I was like, yeah, what's this? Like I don't know what's the idea behind it, but yeah, credits to him and to Adzic and Tudor because yeah, he did it and like that goal was unbelievable. Like every goal was a bit better than the previous one. Yeah, but that goal was fantastic. It will give him like a crazy boost, and I think now you need to play him a bit, like to like you need to give him a chance because
You definitely do.
yeah, because like we're seeing like Coop is not really doing it at this moment in time. Like he played like two good games, but yeah, I still feel like he's not really comfortable. He's not really confident. And now you have like a young player who's very hungry and very confident, and he scored the winning goal, which was fantastic. So yeah, now you need to give him a chance because I think he can help us. But yeah, it was crazy. It was
Even if
crazy.
it's not a start, just like more minutes, I
Yeah,
guess,
more minutes. Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah. Like
like for example against Dortmund, Zegrova and Conceição, even Zegrova was in training, but they will probably not be there. Are you going to do the same thing again with the lineup? Are you going to do it again? Probably yes. He's probably going to do it. Let's be honest. Maybe probably Jonathan David is going to start. Other than that, I think he's going to stick with it. Maybe João Mario or Cambiaso is back, but like in that area of the pitch, I think Gold Miners will get that call again, in my opinion. But maybe bring him on a bit earlier, Adzic, because when you have that player who can take those type of shots, you have somebody who can resolve. Remember last season he came on and the first thing he did was also a ridiculous shot and it got saved.
Yeah,
Like that's
against
it's just
Lazio, I think.
yeah, it's just an
Yeah,
added weapon. Like it's just a weapon because
yeah,
it's ridiculous. If you see his goal highlight reels, it's insane. it's actually it's
yeah.
actually unbelievable. Like what a goal it remembered me. I don't know, reminded me of
The Tevez
Vucinic.
one. Ah,
No, like
okay.
Vucinic against Milan. Was it in the Coppa Italia? On the other side, he just hit it top bins. I don't know if it was Coppa Italia. It's way back, but it was also like kind of from standstill. It was just from standstill, and it was just top corner, right top end corner.
Yeah,
It reminded me of that goal. And funny enough, they're both, but that's a different, added stat to it. But I mean, like you said, he should be getting more of a shot. You need to use that right now. The momentum, I guess, the positive
yeah,
feeling, I think, like the high he's on. Like, yeah, I can
yeah,
do
absolutely.
anything right now. I think you need to use that I think you will benefit from that, in my opinion. Everyone, him,
Like
obviously, the
seeing
team.
him broken on the bench right now, it would not be good for him, not even for us. So, like, reward him after what he did and play him. Like, give him like 10 minutes there, 15 minutes there, 20 minutes, like, build it up, every game. So, yeah, I think he deserves it and he should play more, especially if other players don't perform.
Yeah, I think that's key because if you keep playing a play, like players on the bench know that it just demotivates you as well. Like, that guy again. Not that they hate each other in the locker room, but they were like,
Yeah,
okay, they're not playing well, and when am I getting my shot as well? So
yeah,
um, I do think I don't like Tudor doesn't strike me as a coach who's going to be stubborn. With keep doing the same thing if it doesn't work. He doesn't strike me as that person, in my opinion.
yeah, same,
He
same.
gave Vlahovic a shot because he literally said we need to use the momentum he's kind of on, and fair, I guess. But against Dortmund, I don't expect Vlahovic to start.
Yeah,
I expect Jonathan
same.
David to be out there one more time. So it's going to be interesting. Oops. It's going to be interesting what we're going to do on Dortmund. Now the big talk or the serious talk, because we won the game, and that's obviously cool and that's important, and it's against Inter. It was crazy, and you enjoy that, as you should. I think we all enjoyed that, but the game in itself wasn't very good. Now, we didn't give up a lot. Well, actually, we didn't give up any real chances. The finishing on both sides was ridiculous, even though like closing down Çalhanoğlu on the edge of the box. The first one, especially. The second one, okay, which is a header
Yeah,
outside of the box. But the first one, like, you need to do much. Like, he was wide open. There was nobody near him, so that's kind of an issue. And also the header in the first one, there was nobody actually near him as well. So those things we need to talk, because we won the game fine, but the performance, like, that's not a performance like the play we had to kind of build on. What we can build on is, I think, the fact that we go down and we show a reaction. Maybe that's a
yeah,
good and a positive things, because when we go up, we show a different reaction where it's like, oh my god, let's chill a little bit. But we showed a reaction going down. I think that's massive for this team. That's one. And two, maybe it's because we shoehorn players in a position where they're not really going to offer what players in that position should offer. Maybe that's a mix of both. But we also need to talk about the performance. If you put out that performance 10 games in a row, you're not winning 9-8 games. Like, let's be completely honest. That was ridiculous. So we
yeah.
need to be, level-headed with it, enjoy it, but still the performance wasn't like controlling the game, I will say, was not that good, in my opinion. It was too much Inter at times, and against a different side, it could end up costing you.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think we did it to ourselves, to be honest, because I think we had everything to actually do well and go for it and play much, much better. But as Tudor said, like, it didn't work out. like what was the plan. So yeah, I think that was the problem. What he had in mind didn't work out. The players that were playing like in different positions. So yeah, we also played the lineup that we actually didn't really play before. Like
Yeah,
like
that's
we
also
like yeah, like the previous games. Also like in preseason, we didn't really play Coop there. We didn't play Makeni at all. So yeah, that was a problem. So yeah, I think now with the players coming back, I think it will improve a bit, and I expect improvement in the Dortmund game in the Champions League. And I think that will be a game that if we win and we play well, it will bring some momentum to our playing style and the way we want to play and how well we can play.
I agree. Like I agree the fact like I agree with the point of we 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 did things that in a normal ideal situation you wouldn't do, because I think if you because whenever I think about Conceição, and people know what I think about Conceição, he would have a field day yesterday. He would have caused problems. It would have helped us, even if there was no real end product. It would have opened up more things, you know. So
Yeah,
that's one thing. So I do agree with that, and it is not ridiculous, a freak. It's also because Openda just arrived, etc. You don't expect all of them, not being fit or ready to play, etc. Again, because that would be like crazy, So that this might be a one-off or a two-off, maybe on Tuesday again, and maybe we're just over analyzing it. Maybe we just need to wait and see because I think against Parma, okay, different opponent, we controlled the game, etc. I mean, you can look at it and also be positive. And it's like we didn't give up really anything. Like we could see the 3 goals. It was bad defending at the set piece. It was a good goal from Çalhanoğlu. The second one, the first one, you could have defended better. But the like you were gonna give up shots if that makes sense throughout the game. It's happening, especially against Inter. But we didn't give up clear cut chances, time in, time again. Like actually, we kept it close. We kept it good enough close. I don't know how to put it because it's a 4-3 game. You cannot really say the defensively it was fantastic, but because it wasn't. But
yeah.
if you think about 4-3 and you didn't watch the game, you're like, oh my god, there was no backline at all throughout that game. But it's not really
It
the
was
you know.
it was kind of okay. It's like kind of sustainable, something like that. So yeah, to be honest, also, in derbies, like games are always kind of like this. Like they don't really make sense. Like defending is also a bit weird. Like it's very, they're very emotional games, So yeah, I don't really judge, how good of a like how good can we defend from games like this. I actually see like throughout, 5, 10 games, I'm like, okay, now we can defend, now we can don't defend, So yeah, for me that's not really a worry, but yeah, definitely like from Tuesday and onwards, like we need to not concede like that many goals. Like if like against Dortmund, I don't expect us to concede 3 goals because it would be a disaster, to be honest. But yeah. I don't know. Like I think most of the stuff right now it's they are positive. I think it's also something to look out for. Like yeah, it has brought some different energy, excitement. Like when we scored, like we were losing, like against Inter, and you still felt at the stadium like that something could happen. Like years before, I was like, nah, you know what I mean? Like
To
that
be
three
honest,
three was like, yeah,
yeah, I was pissed, but when we went down 3-2 and we showed some sort of reaction, I was like, it's not over. I was not expecting expecting that to happen. I was like, there's still something that could potentially happen,
Yes.
and it did happen. That's why I said earlier on, like I will take that as a positive. There was some sort of reaction when, I mean, it was a big blow, like to concede those goals really relatively quickly and that late, with 15 minutes to go. I mean, you can just say, screw this, we lost that game, I guess, but we picked ourselves up some sort of way, and for me, I think that's the big positive, forget about the play or forget. It's like you said, the fact that, it's a lineup that we're not really expecting to see many times this season. You just, accept what it was and hope, you don't need to use that lineup as much as many more times this season. But the reaction was positive, and that's for me uh already very, very important. That's how I'm
Yeah.
looking at it. Somebody saying, how was everybody underestimating German teams that much? Stuttgart bullied us last year, and we got away with something against Leipzig. I don't know who you're talking about. Who's underestimating? We should beat Dortmund at home. It's not underestimating. That's just being
Yeah.
like
Just
honest.
should.
You need to beat Dortmund
Yeah.
at home. Like, I'm not saying we're gonna smoke them. I'm not gonna expecting it's gonna be a walkover and we're gonna win 4-1. I'm not saying that, but you should be beating Dortmund at home. And to be honest, I'm confident we're gonna beat Dortmund at home. That's my expectation right now. Because not beating Dortmund at home is a bad result. It's a bad result. It's one of the quote
Yeah.
unquote easiest games, in our
Yeah.
Champions League run. Like, we need to be honest with that as well.
Yeah.
Not underestimating them. It's
It
just,
was one of the easiest teams, like in pot one, I think. So yeah, you just need to beat them.
yeah, that's how I'm looking at it. You need to beat Dortmund at home, and it's not being, disrespectful or saying, oh, I'm underestimating them or whatever. Just in my opinion, it's just being honest.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you cannot say, "Oh, I'm expecting us uh, to not beat um, Dortmund at home." I think that would be crazy to say that. But
I
we will
agree.
see. I think I respect Dortmund, but do I rate them extremely highly? No, like I'm not gonna lie, and that's not me underestimating them, but like going in, for example, Saturday, Verona. Do I rate Verona? Not one bit. I think they're a poor team, but I'm not gonna underestimate them because for some reason we struggle away to Verona. So I'm not gonna say, oh, we're gonna smoke Verona. I'm not gonna say that, but I'm also not going into the game saying, we need to be careful because they're a good team. We need to be careful because for some sort of reason there's some sort of mystique in the stadium, and we struggle, and I have no
Yeah,
idea why. Nobody can explain that. So we will see
yes,
on we will see on excuse me on Tuesday. Um, okay, so that's what we all talked about. Last question on the game before we do a quick Dortmund talk, and then we will wrap it up. Do you think it was a foul?
no, come on, man. Like I saw that, I couldn't believe my eyes. Like, come on, I was like, hey, like this again. Like, come on, like you lost the game, it's over. Like, come on, like just accept it. Like, like it's ridiculous every time. Like, it's like it's like it's written in, like with this game. There's always some controversy. Like there was nothing, like everyone said it, like every, I think a referee or something said like there wasn't anything, like it was so stupid, like he fell to the ground like many of the players do. So yeah, I don't really get it.
I mean, to be honest, I think he had the ball, yeah, the feet as well, but and the hand, absolutely nothing. I mean,
No,
people are
it's
focusing on the head, on the
yeah,
hand. That's the because I've seen it many times that somebody ducks low and somebody's running and they call it. I'm like, what? Like, how do you want people to like? It's a contact sport, and to be honest, the touch was that soft that if we start to, because I remember it. Remember it was with Gatti one time. It was with Gatti. It happened, and he wanted a foul. I don't know which game it was. I remember I came on. I was like happy that that did not get called, because if we start calling that, then I mean, what sport are we playing? Like it's a contact sport at the end of the day, and if you're gonna blow that the softest thing, excuse me, that every single time, we're not gonna play much football. We're just not gonna play much football. So I'm happy. And to be honest, I also have a lot of Inter friends over here, and they were the same. They shared the same opinion. They were like, "Yeah, no problem with it, because that will be extremely soft and not good for the games to come, because then everyone is getting every single call, and you're just not, like the sport is gonna get killed down. It's not gonna be more intensive. Like it's gonna be soft, and I think already it's become soft in my opinion. But that's a different topic.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's talk about Dortmund really quickly. Oh, wait, let me bring up this one from Matthew. Thank you for the super chat. He said, I'm extremely concerned with our back line. I think it will catch up with us. Bremer can play every minute of every match. No, I think at Verona, you rest him. I think you should give him a rest against Verona. I think everybody's concerned about that back line. I don't think that's going to go away this season. Unless somehow we end up winning the league and have the best defense. But even then, I think people are like at the end of the season, okay, we need more talent, real talent in that back line, and that's a fair point. That's not being negative or saying, oh man, stop moaning, we won, etc. That's just acknowledging that, well, the back line lacks quality. It is what it is, And again, Matthew, I think nobody will change their opinion on it throughout the season. I just don't see, even if we win game after game, the players are still the players. Maybe as a unit, they can overcome certain situations, but individually, I think everybody is like, okay, we need better at the club, because I've seen people come around already on Gatti. People who are actually hard supporters of them, and I don't think that's fair, because I don't think he played that poorly to make a 360, on him. He's doing nothing differently than last season, to be honest. It's just Bremer is out there and Kelly's playing better, and now it looks much, much worse. That's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah. Yeah, my problem with him is like he didn't improve. Like that's my problem. Like it feels like he's regressing from me. Like I don't see any improvement. Like since the day he came in, like I don't see something. I'm like, oh, you improved. It's the same. It's the same thing over and over again. So yeah, that's my main thing with him.
Yeah, and we talked about coal miners. We have no idea what happened. If we knew that, I mean, we could have potentially have a job at Juve right now, because we have a solution to fix it, but I have no idea. I think nobody knows. Final question or topic really quickly before we wrap up, because tomorrow I'm going to do the preview for Dortmund, so I don't want to talk too much on it. Otherwise, it's double work. But what is your feeling going into that game? Because did Dortmund play this weekend? I've not checked. I will check while you speak.
Didn't check. No. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna say that I have a good feeling, because I was not really positive with the Inter game, so I'm gonna say I'm positive. I have a good feeling. I think we will win.
They won,
and we should, like, first Champions League game. We should win. And yeah, I think it's a perfect opportunity to not miss points. Like first game at home, I think it's a pretty good opponent, like solid, that you can beat. And yeah, we need to make a good start. And that's all, Keep the positive streak going on,
Somebody said, I think Dortmund might smoke us. That will be completely out of the blue. I'm not gonna lie. If they smoke us, that's a massive worry, because Dortmund do not have a great squad. So if you get smoked by Dortmund, it's a massive issue. That's how I'm looking at it. Like, everything can happen, but if you get smoked by Dortmund, you're in trouble for the season. Let's be completely honest, because with all due respect, you're not playing a super team. I think they have decent players up front, like tricky players, but throughout that squad, I mean, if that's a team that's going to smoke you and put you in some serious trouble, and I know Stuttgart did last season, I get it, but we know how the season ended up. We were in trouble all season. You're just going to be in trouble. You cannot struggle at home against Dortmund. And that's not me saying that Dortmund will come to the stadium and you will roll them over. Not saying that, but you cannot struggle at home against Dortmund that much, because that will be a worry sign. It would. It really would. So
I get that they're a bit different from Inter, because Inter, like, they're older and slower, and Dortmund like have more excitement. They like to play more on the front foot. Like they're a bit faster. Like they have pacing wingers, but still, like, you need to beat them. So no excuses. And if you don't beat Dortmund, like, we're gonna struggle way more against other teams, in my opinion. So for me, this is an opportunity, first game, to start well and continue the positive streak. So yeah.
Yeah, let me. Okay. Yeah, I agree. How can a Juve supporter? How can you be a Juve supporter and said that we're going to get smoked? I mean, it's an opinion. I mean, I guess you're right. However, Dortmund are still a very good team, and they're unbeaten in the Bundesliga after 3 games. Yeah, so are we. And they drew a game we didn't, so I can flip it. We played them in preseason. I know it's preseason. I mean, that's a very beatable team. I know it's preseason, but like it was also preseason for us. It's a very beatable team, in my opinion. I don't know who did they beat.
They're a
Union
great team.
Berlin,
Like, they're
Heidenheim.
just okay. Yeah.
I think they beat Union Berlin, Heidenheim, but they drew 3-3 against, I don't know who that was. Let me check, because I had
I
it
don't
on.
know.
The first game they drew 3-3 against São Paulo. I mean, yeah, they also have 7 points, so maybe they're a good team, São Paulo, but I doubt it. If I'm being completely honest, I really doubt it, because last season they were just made it. I think they just stayed up in the league, if I'm not mistaken, or just, but they were in and about that area of the table.
Yeah.
So
Also, like, in preseason, like they felt kind of toothless. I don't know. Like
I agree, but again, it's preseason. I'm not gonna really
yeah,
base
yeah,
it
yeah,
on
yeah.
that. But,
For sure, yeah, yeah.
I mean,
But because yeah, I think we didn't really play Bremen that game, no? No, I think he played and then we subbed him off, no?
yeah. But I will not be not confident going into the Dortmund game. I was confident going into the game, so I definitely am going to be confident
Yeah.
going to the Dortmund game. So that's how I'm looking at it. But I'll do my preview tomorrow, guys. I'm not gonna. And also, he spoke at 4 o'clock. He will speak Tudor, so I have something to talk about. I'm probably gonna do it. Not probably. I'm gonna do it live. I think most likely. Talk about that game, and then we will see how that will go on Tuesday. But yeah, people, that's it. Smash the like button. As always, subscribe to the channel if you are new or not new, because that's also the case. A lot of people do not subscribe. So do that. And then tomorrow I'll be back live for a preview, and we'll see what Tudor will say. Maybe there are updates on injured players. Maybe you will give something away, about changing the starting 11. Who knows? But we'll talk about that tomorrow. Spiros, thanks for joining me after an epic win. Some win that we will always remember, I guess. And hopefully you can join on Wednesday for another epic win against Dortmund. Maybe not that dramatic.
I agree.
My heart cannot take it for another couple of weeks. Just a clean win. I'm not asking for anything more. But yeah, people, that's it for me. Signing off. Ciao.